was going to tell her darn thing. It's been 10 months. They ain't helped out no more than anything else has. Why haven't they told her something? Evidently, they don't like her too darn well.
Well, and if that's the case too, wouldn't every other psychic have the same vision that she does if they can all see the truth?
Exactly.
All the tarot card readers would be reading the same thing. All the psychics would be seeing the same thing, but yet every one of them sees something different. Now, how's that work?
I don't know, but I'm telling you what, I know for a fact Summer Wells ain't buried under the aquarium. She ain't buried under the merry-go-round at Dollywood. She ain't under the whatever museum thing, the upside down building in Pigeon Forge. For one, there's too many people around all the darn time. Nobody could ever get away with doing something. And two, there's concrete that surrounds every one of those places. I'm sorry, that was one of the first ones I seen about her, and it's, oh, the baby was under one of those places. Please. I live up here. I grew up in Sevier County. And then she was, she's floating up the lake up there next to Eastman. No, she's over at the airport. No, she's here. She's that. Well, can't the spirits make up their mind about where she's supposedly at? Can't you get them to pinpoint something?
Yeah.
You know, get real, woman. Stop feeding everybody a line of bull crap.
I just got an email here a second ago, and I'll read you the beginning of it. And I've got a few of those. You probably got a lot of hate mail over that rant about the Reverend Donna. To her credit, she did nail it with the Vallow case, which is pretty spooky. No, the FBI never confirmed any of that, and the FBI already had all that information. And listen, I'm here to tell you, all of these cases, and I've got another case that she's screwing up, that another person that's heavily involved in that case emailed me and said, thank you for doing that, because she's trying to mess our case up as well. But she's claiming she's solved all these cases. Well, listen, I'm here to tell you, if you solved as many cases as what you've solved, you would have more than 32,000 subscribers on YouTube.
If she solved more
cases, I think probably the FBI and every other federal agency would be talking about you and praising you to the moon. But all they're doing is, that I hear, is telling you to get the hell out of their damn way, that you ain't doing nothing but causing them problems. Because everybody listens to your stupid shit and calls them all day long, wanting them to go search out leads about people being buried under the house in Dollywood, or at the Bays Mountain Lake, or under Eastman, or whatever the hell ever. So keep your psychobabble to yourself.
Amen.
And let the law enforcement do their work based on evidence.
Well,
not
exactly.
Some little chill bump running up your leg. Buy you a blanket or some heavy socks. Cover your damn self up. And them chills will go away. Sorry, I had to rant there.
You're fine. I don't have a problem in the world with that. I get on a rant every now and then too. You can ask my viewers. Every once in a while, I get fed up with hearing about something about Candace or Dawn, and I just go off.
No, as far as I know, law enforcement has never, ever given her credit.
Well, the other psychic, Juanita, she says that she solved the Vallow case also. Yeah,
she didn't do nothing either. There's all kinds of stuff. If you look at, there was a lady a while back, she was busting Juanita left and right about all the fraud that she was committing, because apparently something, I don't know, I didn't look into it that much, but they said like her house had just burnt down in New York, or had some fire damage or something. I don't know if it burned all the way down. And that's why she just latched on to the first thing that she could find, which was the Summer case. And Jody Sue said that she would just see Juanita pull up down there, get out, walk into the ditch, do like a selfie video or whatever, claim that she had been down there sweating and working and all this kind of stuff, get back in her car and leave, wouldn't even be there 5 minutes. And then Jody Sue said she'd click over onto her Facebook Live and watch her do this big long live about this big search and everything that she had done.
Right.
So it's all just, you know, crazy and stuff.
Scott, they're still asking, hon. They're asking for you to show your face.
Oh, Lord have mercy. People would screenshot that and share it all over the world. Or all over the YouTube thing, and then people they'd be bashing me because my nose is a little crooked or my haircut's wrong or my eyelashes are out of place. Or
I doubt that, but it would definitely give my channel a boost.
Right.
I uncovered Scott H, the real man. Oh,
International Man of Mystery.
Huh?
I said the International Man of Mystery.
Yes. Hey, what does your symbol stand for? Is it happiness?
Stands for Om. It's
Om?
Om, yeah. It's a Sanskrit symbol for that's used a lot in a lot of the Eastern philosophies, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, Jainism. A lot of the Eastern philosophies use it, but mine is based off of the Advaita Vedanta philosophy in Hinduism.
Oh. Well, interesting to know. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever told that or not, but I've wondered it ever since I've seen it.
Yeah, I've talked about it a few times on my channels and stuff. It's basically the ultimate reality and the path to lead you to discover that you are that. Tattvamasi. You are the ultimate reality. And yeah, Auntie M, she says like namaste.
Right.
Namaste, what namaste is it actually means I recognize and acknowledge the divine in you.
Right, your faith, whatever it may be, correct?
Basically, when I say namaste to you, it's I'm recognizing that you are God, that you are divine, that you are the ultimate reality. And when you say namaste back to me, that means that you recognize that I am the divine, the ultimate reality.
Right.
And together as one, there is one ultimate reality.
PJ says namaste.
Yeah. She's heard me talk a lot about that philosophy and stuff. Oh, Lara Croft says, I have massive respect for the Hindu gods. Right. All 33 million of them?
Laura's from the UK also.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Love my UK people.
Oh, I do too.
But yeah, it's a Advaita Vedanta is, well, the Vedas are arguably the oldest, what you would call religious texts. And we know that because they're written in the oldest known language, which is Sanskrit. And they're arguably dated to 8,000 BC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you. One, either you're very educated, or two, you are a big, big, huge history buff. Which is it?
Well, I mean, people, I don't want people to think that I brag or anything, but.
Very educated.
Okay, PJ's Parlay says both. Okay, well, I don't know. You make your assessment. PJ's Parlay says I've had this spirituality for 25 years.
Right.
And see, that's the thing about it. It's spirituality. It's not religion. It can be applied regardless of what faith you are.
Right.
Hinduism does not affect or negate any other belief system that you may hold. It's simply a way of life, an understanding, a better understanding of who you are, why you are, to know that you are.
Wait a minute. Who, Teresa, you please tell me you're not speaking about Scott H. Unless you're saying it in a playful manner, we're not going to do that. Or oh, okay, maybe they're saying you're a brainiac.
Oh, yeah. PJ Charlie says it's a practice, not a religion.
Right.
And Niels Knob 74 says, fun fact, all religions are a system of control. Fun fact, I would agree. I personally would agree with that. And that's why I was saying in the beginning with the Vedas were never religion. The Vedas were philosophies. And over time, man created religion, which are or can be used as systems of control and have been for thousands of years. I mean, if you look at it, Christians have killed more people over the course of history than any other group or person, socialism, socialist dictators combined.
Right.
I mean, the Romans weren't nice people.
Laura says she's really interested in you explaining Hinduism.
Well, cool. Laura, come over to my channel one day and I was actually thinking about doing that. I've got a backup channel and a lot of people want me to do things like on finances. And a lot of people have asked more about Hinduism. And a lot of people have asked about recovery because I have a lot of people that are in recovery in my audience. And I was like, well, I've always done like crime and news on Scott H, but I've got Scott H 2.0. And I thought about, I could do all that other stuff on Scott H 2.0, the philosophy and the finance and recovery and things like that.
Right.
On that channel. And that way, you know, the people that were, you know, kind of interested in, you know, that kind of stuff could tune in over there, but it wouldn't drag all the people that wanted to come and listen to the Summer Wells stuff and then go, oh, shoot, he's talking about, you know, something totally different.
Right. Nish or Thunder, I call him Thunder. he says having faith is not the same as being religious, which is
No.
true.
Laura Croft says, I had an experience with the Hindu god of dance. Marianne Nolan says, honoring the God in you. Yeah, you got it, Marianne Nolan. You have got it.
Scott H's channel, I'm dropping it. That's the name of his channel. His other channel. That's correct, isn't it? Scott H 2.0.
Scott H 2.0 is my second channel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were asking.
Yeah, it has no content on it yet. Like I said, I'm just now thinking about starting to do different things on there. I was actually yesterday, and then somebody else went live, and I think that's when Justice for All went live, matter of fact. I think.
Okay, Teresa, I apologize. I apologize, Teresa. Got to take up for my guests on here. You know that. Thank you, PJ. I hope you come back and stick around, babe. Make yourself at home here. Everybody likes to come and hang out at Nana's. They've nicknamed it Nana's Place. Scott, I asked a question earlier, but let me change it. Yeah, Scott, read this. I did mean it's all good. I meant to bring it to his attention earlier, and I forgot. Did you read that?
My son is on meth and maybe heroin also. What's the number one advice to parents dealing with that? My advice to them is to wait till they're in the mood to listen. And you'll have to know that because you know your son. I can't tell you when to do it. But the way we approach people is wait till he's normally, when he's not feeling good because of the meth and the heroin, but not when he's real too sick because it won't stick in his head. But just let him know that you know someone that got clean and sober. And if he's ever interested, you can set it up and introduce him to me. Or he can visit his local chapter of Narcotics Anonymous.
Can I give a little piece of advice? It's all good. Actually, he's right. Catch them where they're midstream between sick and not sick. But try, after Scott gets his second channel going, wait till he gets a really interesting video that you think your son might be interested in, and let him sort of listen in on Scott. Let him get interested in what Scott's got to say, and then point him in the direction of actually speaking to Scott. Say, hey, by the way, I sort of know that guy. You know, I can hook you up with him. He could probably help you out.
You want them to feel like they're the one that made the decision to seek recovery.
Right.
Because the first thing, if you fuss at them and scream at them and yell at them, all they're going to do is rebel at you that much harder. But if they feel like that it's their idea, that's why I say just suggest it. When they're kind of feeling sick, but not super sick, but they're feeling bad, just make a suggestion. That way they can say, and it may be a week, it may be 6 weeks, it may be a month. They may go, hey, remember when you was telling me about a guy that you knew that got sober? You got that guy's phone number, or you know how to get a hold of him? And see, in their mind, they were in charge of making that decision. They weren't forced. They weren't coerced. they made the decision. They're much more likely to be receptive to the idea if they think that they came up with the idea.
Exactly. And then again, sometimes, sweetheart, you're not going to be able to do anything until you can't pull them out of the ditch until they actually hit bottom.
Yep, they got to want it.
Yeah, you got to be there for them when they reach out their hand. So
Yep.
you just can't, all this tough love stuff, put them out on the street. Don't, turn your back on them. Don't do that. You got to be there for your kid in good or bad health, and just be there when they need a hand.
Well, you've got to be careful with that too, because sometimes it's not too bad for them to go to the street, because a lot of people mistake the difference between enabling and love. Love is to not let someone continue on a destructive path. Enabling is holding them up off of that rock bottom just enough to where they don't hurt bad enough.
Right.
When you need to jerk that hand away and let them hit. That's when I would recommend for the parent or the loved one of the addict or alcoholic to contact NarAnon or Al-Anon, which is a program that's set up for the people that suffer due to the addict.
Right.
And they can guide you on how to do.
By no means am I saying put yourself through hell doing it either. If you've had enough and you can't take no more, and they're not trying at all, then you have done all you can do, and you can't make yourself sick. I'm not speaking as in the same experience Scott is. I'm speaking as the parent.
Let's see. He says last time he was here, I said he couldn't come back till he was clean. I just can't anymore with him. Well, what you need to do right there, all good, is stand firm on that. Because if you break right now and let him come back, he's going to know, and he's going to use that every time.
That's true. That is true. But like Tony says, my stepson ended things because of tough love.
Well, if everybody knows it's 2022. Alcoholics Anonymous has been around for 82 years.
Really? Wow. Narcotics
Anonymous has been around for well over probably 50. Everybody, it's 2022. Everybody knows that there's people that get clean and sober every day. Everybody knows of AA meetings. Everybody knows of NA meetings. Everybody knows of rehabs and detoxes. But what they don't realize is they don't know enough about the damage that pride can do to a person. Pride took him to the grave, not the tough love. He had the opportunity to get clean. He just didn't take it. Everybody, rich, poor, fat, tall, black, white, skinny, smart, dumb, rich, poor, living under a bridge or in a mansion, don't matter. All you have to do is change your mind. Instead of getting high, I'm going to get clean. That's how everybody that got clean and sober got clean and sober. In one moment is all it took them. One moment they said, this time I'm not going to take that drink, or this time I'm not going to do that drug. And they continued that process repeatedly over a period of time. And for me, almost 7 years, I have made that same decision that I made that very first time when I said, this time I'm not going to take that drink. As a result of that, long-term sobriety. But you got to swallow that pride. You got to get that thought out of your head that, oh, I'm a man. I'm supposed to be able to handle any problem that I've got. I'm tough. I can handle it. I don't need no help. You got to get rid of all that, because that's what kills you. Your inability to admit that you can't quit on your own is what killed you. Your resistance to the solution is what killed you. The solution's out there. You resisting to get it is nobody's fault. Nobody's. It's their fault for not taking the opportunity.
Right.
My best friend in recovery shit, sweated, and shook in the back of a Honda Accord in the Johnson City, Tennessee's Walmart parking lot for weeks getting sober. I went to a level 3 detox where you can't leave unless somebody has a fancy little card to swipe. You go in there and they lock the doors behind you. There's different ways, but it's all out there.
PJ,
he has to have his experience.
Right. PJ, things are just different at Nana's place. And I'm sure Scott is not shocked by what you've been saying about your son, hon.
I'm sorry, PJ. I wasn't even reading your...
But what she said last is on the screen right there.
I'm not even sure why I'm sharing my... Oh. Well, PJ, if you feel comfortable, hon, then you know you can... Anytime, there's multiple ways that you can get a hold of me.
And you're more than welcome to get a hold of me anytime, PJ. I promise, sweetheart. Ask probably half the viewers on here. They all have my personal phone number.
Well, here's the thing. When I quit, my health got bad and I was having problems. You know, I got to the point where I couldn't drive anymore because I was blacking out. It's a whole different story, different show. But the last statistics that I ran when I was volunteering at that last clinic that I volunteered at last recovery.
Right.
I had my own room in the clinic where I did recovery. 7.4% of the population of Tennessee were alcoholic. 49% of the population of Tennessee was affected by alcoholism. So what that tells us is pretty much everyone knows somebody or knows somebody that knows somebody who has a problem with alcohol. Now, I I help people with drug addiction, but my main focus is alcoholism because that's what I struggle with the most. So it's a family disease. It affects everybody. I was a drunk. It affected my mom, my dad, my aunt, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece, my son. Right there, 7 people that are really close to me. Then it affected my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, both my brother-in-laws, my sister-in-law, and all of my nieces and nephews. And then it expands out farther. It affected my coworkers, because they had to work harder because I couldn't give an honest 8 hours work because I was hungover and didn't feel good, which affected my employer because he wasn't getting his money's worth because I couldn't perform as well as what I should have been able to.
Hey, Scott, you got this for just a minute, hon?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, babe.
All right. So it just compounds over and over, further and further, causing more and more damage. Yes, funny face, Brenda. It's even harder for dual diagnosis. I struggled with that for sure. Oh, it's all good. He's bipolar also, yeah. Definitely harder for dual diagnosis because those have to be treated, and both of them have to be treated. They're two separate things going on there. That was one of my biggest questions when I went into detox the first time. I was like, do I drink so much because I'm so depressed and anxious, or am I so depressed and anxious because I drink so much? They said, well, I don't know. But first we got to get all the drugs and alcohol out of you. And then we'll look at what we got left. Come to find out, I had a severe panic disorder, severe anxiety disorder, and major depressive disorder. And then they treated me for that as well as for the alcoholism. So let's see, PJ's halfway there. Let's see. I'm not even sure. Oh.
I'm back.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, no problem. Oh, let's see. The Neil's knob must be your fun fact. He's Nish. Okay, Nish has told us another fun fact. If you have a drink after dinner or bedtimes, you are not an alcoholic. Correct. Not everybody that drinks is an alcoholic. Not everybody that drinks can ever be an alcoholic. It has to do with your physiological makeup of your body.
And to be an addict, you don't have to always, it doesn't always have to be a substance either. It can be people.
Oh, yeah. Yep, sure enough.
I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Or it can be YouTube. It can be the internet. It can be games.
Gambling, overeating.
Gambling. Right.
It can be all kinds of stuff. I've worked with people with porn addiction, Facebook addiction, video game addiction.
Shopping.
shopping, yeah, impulse buying, all that. You know, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And you can see in the Wells family, all that stuff that I was talking about. Yeah, funny face Brenda, the ripple effect. That's what I was describing there, how it affects immediately. It's like, the way I describe it is, you throw a rock into a pond, the biggest ripples are the closest to the rock. Those are the people in your life that are affected the most, are the ones that are closest to the addict or the alcoholic. The ripples get smaller and smaller as they head out to the bank. And those people are affected less and less and less. But you can see how that in the Wells family, on both sides, with the Hares, the Blyes, the Wells, how it just pervades through generationally. I think Mary said one time, like 5 generations back, they had, you know, the abuse problems going on. And we know we had it in Don's son. Don, allegedly Don's father, allegedly Candace with Hunter. We know that Candace Hare's brother was locked up for it. So it's both sides of the family, multiple people. And then you look at all those people have got families. So you look at how not only has Jeannie been affected, but Jeannie's family's been affected.
Right.
And then their families have been affected because, well, it's like Jeannie, you know, we've heard from Trish, Jeannie's daughter. So you know how tore up Jeannie was, or Trish was. So not only was Jeannie affected, Trish was affected, and then Trish's children were affected due to the fact that their mother was affected. So, I mean, if you look at just how extreme all these different things that are going on within this case, it's something else.
Absolutely. No filter. The boys are going to be majorly affected because not only were they whatever happened to them, but they're having to live through all this mess. And we know what it's doing to us, and we are not even connected to the family. Imagine what those poor babies are going through.
Oh, yeah. You have to wonder. I wonder sometimes because, well, it's, you know, I've said this, and you learn this a lot with working in recovery, is it's amazing what a person can consider to be normal. Over time, it's easy if you're facing adversity, it's just naturally easier to give up than it is to fight through it. So every time you run up against something tough, you dismiss it. And then the next time you run up against something tough, you dismiss it. And then it's kind of like, you know, women in abusive relationships or men in abusive relationships, anybody in an abusive relationship.
It's sort of like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. You know, they get screamed at one time and they make up and they're like, okay, that'll never happen again. And then a few weeks later, you know, after a few more weeks of getting screamed at, they get slapped one day. And then it's like, well, okay, I can get over that. And then The next thing you know, they're, after a few weeks of getting slapped, they're getting punched. Well, if you look back, the first time that you really got screamed at, you thought that was horrible. But somehow now you're used to that. And that's no big deal, but the punch is something serious. Because you've already forgot about the first time you got smacked. Now you're getting thrown up against the wall or down the steps. Well, now you're forgetting about that first punch. So it's amazing what a person can start to consider to be normal. And it's the same way with drug addiction. You know, it's like you see this a lot with pills. You're like, oh, I just swallow the pills. I'm not that guy over there that snorts them. And then the next thing you know, you're snorting pills. And you're like, yeah, but I'm not the guy that's shooting them up. The next thing you know, you're shooting them up. And you're going, yeah, but I'm not the guy over there that's sharing needles. I use clean needles every time. And then the next thing you know, you're the guy over there sharing needles. You're like, yeah, I'm not the guy that's got hepatitis C yet, though. And then you end up getting high and having sex with somebody that's got hepatitis C, or shooting up with their dirty needle that's got hepatitis C. And now you're the guy that's got hepatitis C, but you're not too far removed from that time when you were saying, well, I'm not that guy. I'm just swallowing them. I'm not snorting them. At one time, I ended up doing things in my life that at one time in my life I said I would never do. How did that happen? Because I started normalizing things that was bad so that I could continue That's what we see in the wells.
Scott, do you see Nish's comment?
It does sometimes feel like distraction. The White House is going to shit. Possible blankety war, or just me? Sorry. No, Putin did talk about that. Nish.
I know you discussed this on your channel. Is the reason I brought it to your attention. You know more about that than I do.
I haven't. I read that last night or early this morning. I was up last night. Well, this will get into finance, but we won't talk there. I had some pretty exciting things happen on the finance side of my world. And I was waiting for some of that stuff to get straightened out this morning. And, well, PJ's probably knows, because the place I needed to talk to was in the central time zone instead of Eastern time zone. So I'm sitting here, tapping the coffee table, waiting on because we're an hour ahead of them,
Right.
And so I was reading through the news or whatever, but I wasn't really concentrating on anything. I was just kind of like skimming headlines. And I saw that apparently the Ukrainians have damaged extensively one of the Russian warships. And I'm thinking that's what Nish is talking about. Putin came back with, the nuclear thing again. I saw something on YouTube that they sent out to all creators about discussing the war in Ukraine and stuff. So I don't want to get your channel in trouble.
Okay.
I
That's
don't
fine.
know. I don't know at what level we're allowed to or not allowed to talk to it or whatever, but they sent all creators a email this morning.
Oh, really? I didn't get nothing.
Oh, really?
Really? It might be
Huh.
just you guys that like talking about it.
I was going to say it might have been because I've got videos on it, and so that was probably flagged in their algorithm somewhere.
Well, when I went to title the video I put out today, I put Little Green Men and the connection to 110 Ben Hill Road, and with the Little Green Man on it, and they would not. I mean, it tried for 2 hours and it would not finish checking it. I deleted the title, titled it what it's titled now, but left the Little Green Man on there, and it went through, but they copyrighted me.
Oh, God.
So, but I go in for the Mandela effect and stuff. So I don't go for the war. So maybe it's just depends on what you talk about.
Every video until here recently, I had to post, I had to upload. That's why you were seeing me upload a lot of videos.
Yeah.
And along with my lives, because normally I was always doing lives. Every video, and it's been a long time since I've started on YouTube. Not a long time, but I mean, it's been a while. A few months anyway. Every video has to go through a human review before they monetize it. So by the time I do my live, I get all the traffic of everybody watching it, because you get your most traffic when you first put out a new one.
Right.
All that time it's under review. By the time they get it reviewed and approve it for monetization, everybody's already seen it and quit watching it.
Right.
Which, like I said, I don't do it necessarily for money anyway, but
have they not graduated you up to let you evaluate your own content?
Well, that was the thing. I had to upload 20 videos and rate them myself to see if it agreed with their ratings. And that has helped. I passed. One video they had a question with. So 19 of them I passed, and the other one was partially ads. They partially could put ads on it or something.
Right. Limited. Yeah.
Limited. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's which, like I said, I don't do it for, money's not my sole purpose for doing it. But that's funny about your Little Green Men. That would have been a fitting title for sure.
Well, that comes from Don B when he made his statements, about Big Bird and Bert and Ernie, and he said next it's going to come Little Green Men did it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where that came from.
When he did those little shorts, yeah, that was funny.
But I was basically referring back to that we're not just literally pulling names out of the hat, that these are real people that are connected to this hill, and this is how they are connected. I mean, I didn't go in depth, but I did, show in that video how each person is connected to that hill. I mean, like Crystal and Marlena are friends. They're both friends with Candace. Crystal has a child with David Brett. That kind of stuff.
That was awesome work by Crystal. Crystal's Crime Time.
Oh no, no, I was talking about Crystal Spencer, but I don't know.
Oh, Crystal's Crime Time. That's another creator. She did some really good work on the Brits and stuff. She actually interviewed Crystal Spencer's mom.
Right. I've got her on Messenger. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Crystal Spencer? Or
no,
Crystal?
Her mom.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Crystal's
cool.
mom.
Okay, cool. Yeah, she.
I mean,
That woman was, man, I'd love to hear more of her interviews because she's talking about the Beach Creek that I remember. You know, you were asking me when I first came on, you know, what it was like then. She's talking about the Beach Creek that I remember. And I was like, man, this woman is, everybody needs to hear this woman. Everybody needs to. And I linked it. I shared those interviews that Crystal had done with her, because everybody, like I said, everybody needs to hear Crystal Spencer's mom talk and explain.
That's how. Yeah, that video is how I wound up picking up with her. But her at that time, her mom said she was still missing, but they found her since.
Oh, okay. The other girl down there?
No, Crystal Spencer was missing.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But they found her. Anyways, Crystal, Crime Time with Crystal is where I heard about Crystal's mom, and that's what made me get a hold of her.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Now those were fabulous. I bet you've had some awesome talks with that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask her if you could do me a favor, because this would pull something, and I'll let you have all the credit for your channel. I mean, like I said, just as long as people hear it. Ask her if she remembers the rooster's nest.
What is the rooster's nest? I'm texting her right now.
Oh gosh, you're doing it like real time? Okay, hang on just a second. Let me run to the restroom again.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Before we get into this story here. Well, shoot, for some reason, StreamYard's there. It's coming up. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. Hey, guys. Sorry, this is not an usual little place where we're hanging out, but Scott's a very interesting and very intelligent person. And I mean, I like hearing this. And we are still talking about a lot of the stuff that we normally talk about. Did somebody say rooster? We know, Thunder. You are the rooster in this. We know that. Tangerine, did you slip in and I didn't get to see you? There's a lot of people came in that I didn't get to see because I am listening to Scott, and I am very interested in what he's got to say. Like I said, he grew up there. He knows a lot of these people. Well, PJ, thank you. I don't know what you're thanking me for, hon, but thank you. You're welcome. Whatever might be appropriate. Elaine Valla, how are you, hon? Make yourself at home, sweetheart. Everybody is welcome at Nana's place. Everybody have a say at Nana's place. You just normally have to come in when there's not somebody on panel that's I'm really interested in hearing. See, I wish me would come on here and actually do this. Where we could ask questions or his theories. Oh, ain't telling me crap, honey. I could listen to this man's voice all night long. Yes, it is.
All righty, I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry
Well,
about
we
that.
were not by no means talking about you. I promise.
Right.
Okay.
You can talk about me. I don't care. I'm used to it.
Like you can't go back and read the chat. Right?
I get to talking, and a lot of times
Well,
I don't even pay
Trey,
attention
darling.
to the chat. They could be
Well, that's
they could be throwing
what's happening
tomatoes at
with
me.
me. I was telling them I was sorry for not paying, because normally I'm sitting here reading every chat that comes in, but let's see. I see what you can come up with. I'm gladly help Nana. Okay, thank you, babe. What was it you said? The rooster's nest?
Yep, the rooster's nest.
Okay, I'm
That's
trying very
what I was
hard.
told the name of it was. I want to hear if she knows about it before I start talking about it, because I don't want to get a bunch of wild theories and craziness and stuff. That's why I haven't done a show on myself on it yet, because I got to have another person verify.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to find another person to verify it. And if she verifies it, I'll tell you why. If she doesn't, then I won't. Because like I said, I'm not starting a bunch of rumors and stuff like that. I always like to have two different sources saying the same thing, and then I'll go with it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure exactly. It says she's active, but I don't know if she is or not. But we'll see. I know she's online, so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I have to wait till she answers. But I asked her. I said, hey, Scott H. He is a YouTuber, wants to know if you have ever heard of Rooster's Nest up there in Hawkins County.
It'd be in, well, I'm pretty sure it would be in Beach Creek, but
well,
I can't.
Right. That's why I said Hawkins County, because I wasn't for sure where you were meaning it was located.
Right.
I know she does not like Hawkins County at all, especially Beach Creek.
Right.
And she was very upset. She came down for her surgery not too long ago, and they went up there and tried to see the baby. Her and Crystal both did. And David wouldn't even let the baby wave at him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got Crystal's, I believe it's her youngest son.
Yeah.
And he's the dad, and he's got him and won't let Crystal or her mom see the baby at all.
Wow.
She's really, she loves her grandkids, and it's killing her not to get to see them.
Yeah, that David sounds like he's something else.
Yeah, have you heard anything about his niece, Robert's daughter, that went missing down there in Florida?
Just what Crystal's Crime Time had put out.
No. It's just strange that it's, everything is the same. No sign, no evidence, no witnesses, no nothing.
I
But
know
that girl went missing from a mall.
Right. Well, it was in Florida too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's down in Florida.
So that's a little, they were talking about, and I'll just use him for an example, Chris McDonough talking about the likelihood of somebody getting missing from a mall in a big city is a lot more common than somebody getting missing off of the top of the hill on a dead end road.
Okay, Scott, we got a couple of questions here. Zero wants to know what you think about Ronnie Lawson.
I think he's a politics guy. I really
Politics.
do. Yeah. I think
And go ahead.
I think there's just a lot of politics involved in him.
There was another question. Auntie M, you'll have to re-ask the question, honey. I couldn't find the first part of your question. Sorry about that. I missed it. Well, I guess she'll post it here in a minute.
No, Auntie M, Jody Sue doesn't know. Or if she
Oh,
does, she
okay.
told me she didn't.
Right.